Toilet seats have more germs than cell phones. Swimming after eating is dangerous. Goldfish only have 3 seconds of memory. Cracking your knuckles leads to arthritis. There's no such thing as too much ice cream. The Mitsubishi Outlander is a pile of shit. There are a lot of misconceptions in this world, and even though I know for a fact that there is totally such a thing as too much ice cream, until last week, I was convinced that Mitsubishi built totally irrelevant cars and crossovers that only appealed to the same people who do their grocery shopping at a dollar store. But alas, misconceptions are just that. Cell phones are actually dirtier than toilets. You can eat before swimming, and apparently the new Mitsubishi Outlander is not only a good crossover, it's an impressive one at that. Hi, I'm Zane from Drive Them All, and I've been test driving Mitsubishis for the better part of 2 decades. Aside from the Evo, which is always a good time, I've never been a big fan of the brand, and that's because to me it seems like they've always styled the vehicles, added features and power outputs that were more appropriate for 5 years before the vehicle was introduced than when it actually was being sold. So when this all-new 2022 Outlander showed up at my office a few days ago, I'll just be honest, I was prepared to be disappointed. But here's the thing, it only took a few moments in the driver's seat to understand that I was, in fact, not going to be disappointed. More like surprised and shocked at how much I like the new Outlander. Had I developed a misconception about Mitsubishi? I think so. The interior of the 2022 Outlander actually is really nice. It's just simple enough to look good, and just nice enough to look really expensive. And my favorite feature, this fully digital cluster with gauge animations that are unlike anything I've ever seen in a vehicle before. There's also this fully featured infotainment center that is Apple CarPlay and Android Auto compatible. It has a high resolution screen so you can view that 360-degree camera system, and is paired with a wireless charger, tri-zone automatic climate control system, and the seats have this really nice stitching that follows back into a modest second row and hideaway third row for small kids. The styling of the 22 Outlander is very reminiscent of the outgoing model. It looks a lot like the old one, but is now more modern and more expressive. All of the cues have been accentuated and exaggerated a little bit. We've got the model name here on the hood, followed by this big blacked out center section. There's a 360-degree front camera that you'll note out here in the front. There's DRLs up above this sweeping chrome section that has a fog light on the bottom, and out here on the corner are LED headlamps. The Outlander is powered by a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder that produces around 181 horsepower and 181 pound-feet of torque. Now that may not sound like a lot, but surprisingly enough, paired with its 8-speed CVT transmission, which I'm not really sure how that has speed. CVT transmissions don't have speeds, but anyways, when paired with the 8-speed CVT transmission, it actually feels a lot more powerful than it is. And driving it on long trips, which I just did a few days ago for about 5 hours behind the wheel, I was really impressed how comfortable, responsive, and sporty this vehicle was. I had my wife and kid in the back seat, and everybody was having a good time despite the vehicle being a little more affordable and compact than other options we could have taken. What is also impressive about the Outlander is its full safety suite and different driving modes. This vehicle has adaptive cruise control, blind spot awareness, and all of those extra safety features that you would want if you're buying a vehicle in 2021. Now, I have to admit, adjusting that safety feature set is a little bit confusing, and even I'm having a little bit of trouble with it. The menus are kind of buried in the instrument cluster and not really apparent on how you adjust individual features. But the driving modes, on the other hand, there's 6 of them, ranging from eco all the way up to snow, sand, dirt. That's a nice feature to add for a vehicle that has all-wheel drive and you know you're going to be driving all year round. What's equally impressive to me is how well the Outlander handles. It's kind of on the sporty side. The steering has a really tight on-center feel and is really responsive. It is also comfortable, and you can spend long stints behind the wheel without your back aching or feeling like you're rattling around. It just is a pleasant experience from start to finish. So how was I so wrong about the new Mitsubishi Outlander? Well, I did some research to find out where I went off track and how the new model suddenly got so good. You'll never believe what I found out. As it turns out, this all-new Outlander shares a platform, engine, transmission, and even some exterior and interior bits with the all-new Nissan Rogue. Now it makes sense. Mitsubishi used its alliance with Nissan and Renault to produce an Outlander that was better than it could do on its own. And I can't see anything wrong with that. In fact, this Outlander drives great, has a ton of features, and this fully loaded example has a sticker price of under $40,000. Mitsubishi makes terrible crossovers? That's just a misconception. I'm Zane from Drive Them All, and I'll see you next time.